Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Twitch stream. Today we have very special guest, Seyonce Knows. Hey, hello, hi. My name is Andrew Chiles, and this is Mira May.
Hi, everyone.
Today we have Seyonce Knows with us.
Hi, boils and ghouls. How are we today?
For today's Drag Vantage, it is the Pad and Pose Challenge, where everybody gets a customized and personalized Daft Boy harness. Did you actually get one too? Because I saw that some of the divas behind the scenes were posting theirs and tweeting theirs.
Yes, I did get one. I don't know how, I mean, custom is a very loose word here. Custom in the way that it has my name on it. Custom in not the way that it actually fits my body in any proper way.
No. So Fahrenheit and Quentin are going to be our little judges for this Drag Vantage challenge. And one of the things that I found the funniest was when they were like, okay, Quentin's gonna go leave us right now so that way he can go set up, and then you cut to like when it's Quentin's turn, and he's literally set up like just right next to them.
Yeah, you're right. That's so weird. We're like having all these moments where we're like, why are they putting this in the edit? Like, why do we have to hear about every single person's outfit and background like in the mothership? And they're also putting in random moments of like, all right, bye, Quentin, even though he's just in the room, like setting up gear. Like, okay.
Right, there's just like a lot of weird choices sometimes when it comes to some of these like little mini challenge things, and this one was a choice. I know that just like taking a bunch of people who are like gender illusionists and then being like, hey, put your body on display in this green tight skin suit and like don't have any control over it. Maybe put some pads in there, but you only have like 10 minutes. I know that's very kind of like, it can be kind of uneasy for a lot of people.
Yeah, so they kind of continued with the really confusing, I didn't really get the challenge until they were like at the end of the segment for maybe the like upteenth time of this season, because I was like, why are they in green screen suits and then they're not actually doing anything with the green screen?
That's literally what I thought. Like, they're like creating an entire character, and then there was no like post-production editing other than the fact that that little beige screen that Quentin used happened to turn into this magical forest or this beautiful landscape or this wonderful seas. And it was just like, what was the point of this green screen editing? Like,
No idea.
It was,
honestly, could have just been all black.
It was a strange challenge.
Yeah, they had 20 minutes to make pads, and then they had another 15 minutes to stuff their pads. But
and
all
style.
in all, and style. And all in all, they had to create a character, pose in front of this background, we're gonna say. And it was a challenge. It was interesting. I liked some of the characters that were created. For example, we had Michaela, who was under the sea as a mermaid. Mm-hmm. We then had Justin in the desert as a camel, and honestly, the memes you can make from Justin's face alone.
There were a lot of confusing choices, but that happens when you're put under pressure in a very small time frame. But I think the most confusing thing to me is like, how are you gonna give a bunch of like anxious artists a bunch of electrical knives and be like, you have this much time, please do it? And they're like, oh no, this is dangerous.
Literally, you saw all of their faces when they like uncovered it, and there's just also, I have to say, my favorite part, and it just came to me, is so they have these like silver sheets like covering the bodysuit and then covering the knife. And then if you looked under the table, they had the pads in boxes that they were gonna cut up with this tiny little silver sheet covering it, but you could still tell what was under the table. I'm like, could we not afford like an extra few meters of this silver fabric? That cracked me up. That was very good.
We have Pepper, whose setting was in space, and they were also a alien woman. I love what they did with this entire look. Jessie is set for the Amazon forest, and she does a little frog. And like my favorite thing is when they were just like judging, she's just like sitting there like waiting like this, just like.
She wanted them to know. She was like, I did the fingers, so she made sure they knew.
Yeah, that was really clever, but her makeup was very confusing to me.
Oh my god.
Wig?
The stills of her and Weeby, from like even the preview, and then the amount of screenshots you could get of the two of them and their faces, I loved it.
Yeah, and speaking of Weeby, they had the mountain scenery, and they went as Sharon, the hiker lady, and that storyline and customization of that character is just so camp. I love it.
You did a great job with all those like leg muscles and stuff like that. I just wish that I got to do this challenge because honestly, like I don't know if you know, but one of my day jobs is I do special effects makeup, fabrication for movies and stuff like that. But I've built quite a few like creature suits made out of all foam. So I'm like used to cutting up all these like foam pieces as muscles to glue onto a suit and turn into like a full figured body.
So you would have won, like absolutely won. Well, I must say the true winner of this challenge was not Weeby, but Sharon. I want Sharon to be the first child to drag.
Come on over here. We're gonna go hike that mountain.
I loved Sharon. I really do.
We get to the runway, and this week's runway is Queer Joy. And for me, my queer joy is the Forever 21 basic striped shirt that every gay man has. That's very queer joy.
Yes, and my queer joy is the Maya Fox bus driver wig. This is my application for the Maya Fox bus driver challenge. So, Maya, I know you watch the VODs. Do I look good?
Well, so my concept for queer joy was Pride Moth. Kind of like Pride Month, but Pride Moth. So I have this giant cloak. I am not wearing it because I would not be able to function with it on right now. But it's a giant fur collar. The outside is all patchwork. It's all made out of neutral tones. So like when I have it closed, this top half makes more sense. But it's to represent like kind of being suppressed and like having your like queerness subdued, and then like I open the whole thing up and it's like these giant moth wings, and they're all painted with like a rainbow color scheme, all in patches, big patches, and like there's big eyes on it, and it's all covered in paillettes, so they're all like shiny and colorful. And so I'm like revealing that I'm like super gay underneath. And then I like drop the cape, and then I have this beautiful suit underneath.
My gosh. Well, and we've talked about it all season. We have been robbed of so many great looks from a lot of the artists, but Seyonce is truly one of the people who I like go to your Instagram each week to see what you're gonna wear. Yeah. Is, oh my God, like everything you wore on the show was absolutely beautiful, but like everything you've posted too is just like so good. And like the level of detail and attention is just like mind-blowing. It's truly up to like some of the higher echelons of drag we see on these TV shows right now.
Thank you so much. That means like so much to hear. I'm like very confused and hurt to the reason why I didn't get to show all of this stuff. And you know, I kind of like fell behind on taking photos of my things, so I have like 2 weeks worth of things not to like to show off. My last week's for the like me and my show, I had a beautiful corset, or not corset, I had a beautiful, it was like a cross between a Victorian gown and a straitjacket, and made by Lucinda Mew, actually.
Word. I was actually going to ask if Lucinda's allowed to make outfits for you guys, because like
Oh yeah.
Like work.
I'm pretty sure she made Jenna's outfit from last episode.
Oh, work.
Oh, so
but I think she's made. I don't know what else she's made for other people this season, but I think that it's happened. I mean, I know that people got wigs from Wig Zaddy also, so.
The runway this week is Queer Joy, and for the House of Dual set, we have Michaela in the wonderful, with the chains. It was like, the way she represented herself in so many aspects and represented it for so many people. It was just so beautiful. And then we had Justin as the Pride Garden Gnome, very similar to your Pride Moth, I guess. We have a moth and a gnome, big sleigh.
Oh my gosh.
We all know that moths and gnomes go hand in hand together.
Yeah, everyone knows that.
It just makes sense. Gardens,
Yeah. But I thought Michaela really did that. Like, Michaela obviously has brought some really amazing looks, but this look in particular, I was like she walked down into my like so good. And the hair and the like jewelry, like, and then the photo shoot she posted too.
Yeah.
Gaggy. It was really good. Justin was I agreed with everything the judges said on the look, you know?
That it was too much?
No, I didn't like the tulle. I didn't think it was too much rainbow. I just didn't like the tulle. So maybe I didn't agree with the judges, but I agreed with the scores.
Okay,
yeah,
that's fair.
I thought their reasons were weird.
I love the concept for Justin's, but I feel like it could have been like the like white gnome, but then it was like covered in paint splotches instead of like all the tulle, because I felt like the tulle kind of got away from it. But if it was like someone who had like vandalized the like gnome, and then it was like covered in all like different paint or graffiti or something, I think that would have been like a much like stronger way to elevate it.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. That's kind of what I thought it was gonna be too, was like a graffiti white gnome, you know?
That would have been good.
Yeah.
For the House of Harmony, we have Weeby doing the little gay clown. I absolutely love this. And then we had Pepper with Marsha P. Johnson, and the way that she styled this entire look, especially describing the flowers in the hair, it was exactly what I wanted to see from this. And I think that both of these people deserved the scores that they got, that they were fantastic throughout the night.
I like Weeby's look, coming for my face though, clown, rude. But no, she looked really good. Unfortunately, Pepper, her idea was great. She always gives a great performance, but like, yeah, it was falling apart. It was fabric and things just placed in places, and I kind of wish it was like more intentional.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like Pepper had this dress and went, oh, this kind of works with my concept. And I know it's so hard to get ready for these shows, but I do think this might have been one of the runways where it was last minute that she was like, oh, I still need to figure this one out, right? But I love the message and I love the idea. But again, yeah, I think there could have been a lot more intention. I thought Weeby's was great. I love the gender fuck. There's something really like hot about it, and it's not just because I want to Weeby.
You want to fuck Weeby?
But there's something like really like attractive about it, but also playful, and so I like the intersection. It's kind of like what Peppermint said. The gay.
Like the
gay FED of it all was great. I loved it. And I love Peppermint apologizing for saying that word.
Lastly, we have the House of Glass, Jessie as the lovely iced coffee. And literally the way that I've been craving iced coffee since yesterday, it is insane. Even bubble tea, like I want just something of that nature. I want something of that nature. This was the brains.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this was a great look. When she told me about it, I was thrilled. I'm like, yes, giant iced coffee. That is hilarious. Yeah, it was really great. I mean, like, the only thing I could say is, like, maybe if it was constructed a little better, but honestly, it looked really good for what it was. So I was like, I love this. It's perfect.
I also love that she fully had an outfit on underneath. Like, she literally had, I don't know what the outfit was. You couldn't see it really. You could kind of see some of the, like, rhinestoning on it. But I'm like, this bitch fully put on, like, an entire outfit underneath this just in case.
And that would have been my smallest critique, is if there would have been a reveal to this, I would have loved this 1,000% more. It's still a freaking 9 out of 10, but, like, you know, had she done that, she could have really just, like, punched it real hard.
Yeah, like, she's the Starbucks siren underneath the...
Yeah, the siren, the Starfuck.
Yes.
I wish that her reveal was just a smaller cup underneath.
Yes, that's even better.
And then it's just a smaller cup, and she's like, ooh, yeah.
I love reveals that are one thing to the exact same thing. Like Ginny Lemon revealing from one dress to the exact same dress underneath. Love that. Or like, I always tell Valerie Hunt, who's on season 1, she wears a lot of muumuus these days, and I told her she needs to have a muumuu number where she just keeps revealing to a smaller and smaller muumuu until it's like just like a little bib by the end.
Then underneath that small one is an even bigger one, and it's like
it unravels.
Yeah. For the scoring, we have Justin with 30 points, Michaela with 35 points, Weeby with 36, Pepper with 32, and lastly, Jessie Perseus with 36. So we have Jessie and Weeby tied for first place just based off of their runway. So big slay for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense. I agree with the order of the like scores.
Yeah, I think this is a
shook out, you know?
A well-encompassed outfit.
I think I might have placed Michaela a little higher than Weeby, but I think they were about the same level.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, the fact that they're just 1 point apart, it is like, it makes sense, but it could have been really, like, it is really close.
They could have switched, yeah.
Yeah, but in this show, 1 point really matters, so
it really
you never know.
Yes. So we get to the showcase and the preparation for the showcase. And in this moment, we get a little emotional as we find out that Justin feels as if they're going to be going home. And we get the lovely Pepper just there to console them and talk them up and hype them up.
Yeah.
Which, thank gosh for Pepper for being that, like, that person to just remind you to continue fighting.
I really felt for Justin because, like, some of us didn't, like, feel as, like, I don't know, connected or, like, as involved with everyone else. And, like, Justin and I really hit it off. And we were, like, really, like, we were starting to get close before I was eliminated. And, yeah, I just, like, I wish I could have been there to, like, console them, too. And, like, you know, just be part of, like, the whole thing. Because, like, honestly, most of the time that I was there, I was, like, trying to be really supportive to, like, my family and stuff like that. And, because, like, they push it as, like, a team thing. So I'm like, well, if everyone does well, then we'll all be good. So I'm like, let's help each other. And, yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Yeah. I think this moment was interesting for me because I feel like production's almost scared for any storylines this year. Like, and from what I've heard in terms of like what's actually happened in a lot of episodes and some like moments that aren't being shown, it just feels like no one's getting like a real proper storyline except for like Justin, I think might be the only person with an arc this season. So it was kind of sad to see like someone who I enjoy and appreciate a lot like be so down because, you know, like we said, at 1 point can really be the difference, but then to be like 6 points away from like the top and like even 2 points away from the next person, and knowing that maybe this is a challenge you're not going to do so well on, like it really was sad to see.
Yeah, the second that they said, we're going to score you individually, they really said, we're going to score you 5 points apart from the next person, so that way you just know you're going to go home. It's kind of sad.
In terms of like storylines and stuff like that, again, we do film a lot of things. So in the end, it's like it's very up to whoever is like putting the show together, the final chopping block to like really put out what's happening. And I feel like they kind of did just like take all of those stories that we had and just kind of just, we don't need those. And it's like, I think we do. Like, go back. we filmed all that.
Yeah, because the season's been very competition based. We haven't had like a Sangina moment at all in this. And like we haven't had the like Hercules, even though they were painted to be a villain, at least they had some sort of storyline throughout.
Yeah.
And like even Val had this very like underdog storyline. You got to know Toddy really well last season. And this season, if it weren't for these Twitch streams where we're able to connect with you all and like learn more about you and like hear your opinions on everything, I don't think I'd feel super connected to this season as I do, because I particularly like care a lot about all the competitors because I've gotten to get to know you all. So it's been like super fun to watch. But that being said, it's kind of hard if we weren't doing this.
And again, I'll say it like I've said in the earlier episodes of the Call Me After review show. Just hire maybe 12 competitors and everybody gets a house. And then, we get a few moments just to like Kiki and Cuckoo and Kaka.
Yeah.
And, it's fine and it's good and no one's going to be upset. And then, you can do like what Jenna Sepa said and like just eliminate 6 people at once. Like, let's do something fun and weird and fashionable and fresh and, I don't know, fun.
Yeah.
Honestly, they got rid of us so quickly because they're like, they probably couldn't afford to keep that many people.
Well, yeah. I'm not
anyway.
with you. Yeah.
You said what you said.
They couldn't afford to keep y'all long enough to have you at the reunion, so.
No. Anyways.
Anyway, I love Out TV, and I'm very excited to submit my season 3 audition.
Okay. But anyways, I know I was only there for 3 episodes, but I expected so many different things that I did and said and experienced to be there, and I was very shocked for it to not be there. So, and then weirdly, 6 weeks into the competition, they're like, here's a Meet the Artist video. And then I'm like, oh, this is where all my personality is. You cut it out of the first 3 episodes and put it right here. And I'm like, I don't understand the math. The math ain't mathin'. But yeah, like I think they kind of were like focusing on the challenges and like less on the people in the show, which kind of was like a weird choice to me. They're like, oh,
they did it for financial reasons because now they actually have things being funded. Confusion. I am confusion.
Je ne sais pas. Anyway, this moment with Justin, I will say the storyline for Pepper was kind of giving winner. It really was giving winner. Like I was like, damn, they suddenly decided Pepper's gonna win. So I wouldn't be surprised if in 2 weeks, But yeah, it was a sad moment to watch Justin, but like that is Pepper. So like I'm really glad we got that moment because that is truly who Pepper is as a like human and as a person. So like I'm very glad we got to at least see that for Pepper, right?
Yeah.
Pepper's just such like a kind and like genuine person. It's hard like not to like instantly fall in love with her.
Yeah, truly.
And for the showcase this week, it is the Merchable and Me moment where they have to sell themselves as a showcase situation. I just thought that this was actually probably like a really good way to describe or decide who's actually going to be making it into the finale. And the way that they got the sponsorship from Square so that way they could all have this little tap moment, I thought was really interactive and actually really fun.
I liked the tap. It was fun.
And having Dallas continuously calling it the tip tap, I was like, yes, tip tap, tip tap, tip tap. Tip
Yeah,
tap.
well, and like, I'm not sure about Toronto, but the squares are starting to like pop up all around Calgary around the scene, especially as a way to help, because audiences, especially if you're in a venue that might not particularly have people who are used to drag or go to a lot of live drag performances, it's a really nice way to continue tip culture for drag artists, so that, because sometimes if you live in Newfoundland, you're not making a good amount of base pay off of your gigs. So yeah, so I'm glad.
Yes.
I love this. I love the square moment.
I love them too, and honestly, they gave all of us, they give all the competitors one, and unfortunately they're all broken, so they haven't replaced it. So I have one that doesn't work just sitting right over there that I wish I could get people's money from, but you know,
Wow.
It's not a near there.
Well, that's fine.
You know, that's what that keeps on giving.
Yeah, truly.
But I honestly, I really love this challenge as a prompt. I like it hurts me so much because like almost every week it's like, here's something that I could have been good at. Oh, here's something that I could have really excelled at. And then they were like, oh, Oreo, not for you.
And especially like having the three vocal challenges back to back. Like Phoenix has mentioned it, and now Justin has mentioned it. This is something Seyonce would have slayed at.
Yeah.
This is my bread and butter. This is what I do. I don't know if you know, well, you probably don't know because no one knows. I love to do infomercials. I've done several infomercials as like stupid like numbers or like just like things to like sell myself to try and convince people that I exist outside of Halloween. But my audition tape for Call Me Mother was an infomercial.
Word.
Oh, awesome.
So your audition tape is literally the challenge that they have to do to get into the finale.
Yeah, they really said, Seyonce, we don't want you to excel at anything that you're good at.
Damn.
Seyonce, oh no, she better don't.
Damn, they knew. They were like, we have to get rid of this bitch now or else she will sweep up this entire competition.
Seyonce knows better now.
Yeah.
So starting off the 2-minute discussions, we have Weeby, and you know, in typical Weeby fashion, she just doesn't shut up. And that's so camp. I love the outfit that Lucinda was able to create for Weeby. I love that she went in with this whole like pre-rehearsed, very stiff character. I know that they got judged for being that stiff, but I actually thought that that's what helped sell it for me a little bit more. I really enjoyed Weeby's presentation.
Yeah, they're also very good at talking. Maybe a little too good at talking. Maybe not good at stopping talking, but no, she did a really good job. She was like, but I feel like a lot of the like stories or like concepts got lost with like the editing. I'm not sure how much time they actually had, but just for like knowing what happened through the first 3 episodes of things being edited out, I'm sure they got rid of like key points that make things make sense. So
Well, I know in this case specifically, Weeby did have a name change after the show had already filmed. And so she, if you haven't seen, she did post on her Instagram story why that name change happened and everything. And so like the dripping part doesn't make sense in this. And she says her old name a bunch of times. And she does ask that we don't use her name, her old name, obviously.
Can you tell me though? I don't know what.
I'll tell you afterwards, just so we're not
curious.
Just so we're not
Do your research, kids.
Yeah, and she talked about it. So she had an old name, and she was told that it wasn't culturally sensitive by some people, and so she changed her name in order to make amends as like people who have white privilege should, right? And so she was worried about this episode because she knows her entire brand in this episode was kind of revolving around that name, whereas they had been able to edit her old name, her new name in a lot easier during the season. Like her first name has always been Weeby, so
just the last one.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think that's maybe why it didn't make sense. But if you know the context of it, it suddenly does make a lot more sense. It comes off a lot like it makes sense why she won. Like, to be honest, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah,
Didn't know that.
That's a long tirade. Just go to Weeby's page.
Go to Twitter.
Yeah, it's on her Instagram. Yeah, go check her Instagram.
Following Weeby, we had Michaela, aka Martha. And she is selling her body oil, and I really loved the outfit that she had, both before and after. The one thing, again, the editing, I didn't understand the dancing moment, and the dancing moment wasn't enough for me to understand it. It was just kind of like, and then bam, I'm in a pink suit and I'm done.
I mean, you gotta play to your strengths, and Michaela is a very good dancer, so I don't know. I honestly, I watched the episode and I don't even remember what she said before she started dancing. I just remember being her like, hello, and then it was like a montage of her dancing, and I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
I think she was smart because she knows that like the super shiny leg and the like model moment into the dancing is just her, like that's her brand. So it's hard. Sometimes it's hard when your brand is something so visual to like really like figure out how to do that in like a comedy challenge. Especially if your brand is not comedy and your brand is literally like being fierce, which is great. We love it, especially if you do it well, which Michaela does. So I think she was smart with how she approached it. Obviously, it didn't like work super well, but I understood. But I think that's just, again, the editing and them not having the full 2 minutes on display for us to watch.
Yeah, I agree. But I think the one thing that I'm thinking of continuously is if she's going to be doing this like body lotion on the legs moment, going back a few episodes to Not My Drag, where she had the lotion on the legs. I'm just poking the bear by saying that. Just letting everybody remember that was her drag.
Very true. Down.
I'm sorry.
Down. Yeah, you're right. And I love Michaela, but you're right.
Speaking of Not My Drag look, did you see my Not My Drag look?
I loved it.
Oh yeah, yours was so good. I actually tweeted or commented on your post being like, CB, the Bully Brothers, she can do both, because it was the same week that they were doing the basic bitch challenge and you did the basic bitch. It was so camp.
It was so funny how it like aligned that way. Honestly, there's a lot of weird parallels. Like the same week that we had Alaska as our target,
they did too. Like,
yeah, Alaska was clearing those checks that week. She went ching. She only got to go to the bank once because of that. Literally,
even though they happened
to go to the bank, she had a square.
Yeah. She had her own square. She didn't.
Yeah, yes.
Afterwards, we have the House of Glass, Jessie Precious, doing this lovely phone call sex worker thing. I don't know if I understand how this sells her, but I didn't complain.
Honestly, it was a lot of fun, but I agree. Like, I don't know if it was selling her as a brand, but it was just so stupid, and like, it's just like my kind of humor, where it's just like a bunch of phones and being like, again, one of my infomercials that I did it as like a sex call hotline. So I would have, I was already there with her.
It felt like she was like, I like this little comedy sketch I did, and she was like, I don't know if it represents me or my drag, and then she's also in like a sexy lingerie outfit, which we have not seen her worn once this season. It's like, you know what, you live your. But she did say, I don't really know what my brand is, and I was wanting to come to Call Me Mother to really figure out that brand. So like, fair. And I think her brand is just like being funny
And stupid.
So
Next up is Justin a bit, and this is Justin's hot tip, where the one thing that I think I found the funniest was when they heard the music and was like, does this make you think of erectile dysfunction? I like lost it in that moment. And I think what Crystal said was perfectly said, in the sense that there was moments of brilliance just impeded by or occasionally impeded by frustration. And I just like, the way that was so perfectly worded to the situation that happened, I just like, I had to write it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I know that Justin is very talented and gets in their head a lot about things, so it could have just been like them like overthinking what they have to do, and if they just didn't think and just let it all out, I think they would have succeeded a lot more.
Yeah, I think they really had all the pieces there. Like they had the jokes, he had the good ideas. Like it represented him really well. The stripping idea was really good. But like he was already in his head from not doing well on the runway, and I think the kind of thing. Yeah. Like the torpedo had already hit the ship, kind of, and he couldn't really do anything.
First plane has hit the tower.
But bury that. And now his second plane has hit the Pentagon. Oh no.
But yeah,
anyway.
Number one drag tip, just don't think. Just let it happen.
No thoughts, truly.
No thoughts. Not a thought between us.
No, yeah. Oh yeah. Poor Justin.
And lastly, we have Pepper, and they did a very Steve Jobs, very TED Talk-esque kind of a style to this, and I really enjoyed how they did that. My only critique is, and I don't know how this sounds, but because she is of her age and has been performing for so long, I wanted it to be like a Pepper 5000 or not a Pepper 2.0. She's already had multiple evolutions of herself.
God,
and to have
dating her. Oh my God.
So too. But I just think there's been so many different variations of Pepper that to have just a 2.0, we could have had the Pepper X. We could have had the Pepper 14, something. I don't know. I just think that Pepper 2.0 was good. It could have just been better.
I thought Pepper's was one of the stronger ones, and I really liked her energy and her, just the silly way that she presented everything. And sometimes versions happen in decimals, so it could have been plenty of decimals before that number 2.
Yeah. Well, and I think Pepper was my favorite this week, and I think she could have won had she not scored not been on the lower scale on the runway. I do think she was the best in the challenge. It all flowed the best for me.
Yeah.
And what was the joke she made? She made a joke that was good.
Yeah, that one joke. Yeah, it was great.
I liked that one. Yeah, it was really funny.
all of it was in there.
All the words
in the middle.
Yeah, all the words she put in that joke made me laugh.
Each one was better than the last.
And you know what? If it was said any other way, it wouldn't have made me laugh as much.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. It was funny.
Yeah. Oh no.
So we find out that the winner with the most amount of tips was $105, and that winner was Weeby, and they actually end up winning a $2,500 cash tip from Square, which is money. Good job.
Yes, and they did make a donation from the amount they made for I can't remember which charity, but they did make a donation with the money, which we love to see, which is really great.
They've been donating the Wonder Bras. They're making donations. I'm glad to see that there's been payoff to the communities beyond just our own.
Yeah,
which is super important and really nice to see.
We find out that one of the winners going on to the finale is Weeby. They should have just said that when they said that Weeby won the $105, and it was like, why? My boyfriend was like, "Okay, why isn't she going backstage yet?" I'm like, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah,
you're trying to apply logic to this show. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, they're like, Weeby, you did the best in the challenge and also on the runway, but will you make the finale? Who knows?
Sorry, you're eliminated. Sorry,
eliminate her.
Well, we have to get rid of you.
They're like, Weeby, we just don't like you. You talk too much. And they get rid of her. Oh no. I told her I wouldn't shit talk her this episode.
Too late.
Well, damn.
The one thing that I didn't like that the show didn't show us was the Weeby and Jesse's scores. This happened actually, like, what was this, last week or 2 weeks ago, where we actually didn't find out the proper bottom people's scores. I want to know the proper scores, especially when you have Michaela with 66, Pepper with 67, like they are neck and neck. And then you had Justin a bit with 60. Like, there was a huge discrepancy, and I mean, we saw that from the get-go. But I just want to know what the scores were for everybody. I want to know the scores. If the outfit is 50% of the mark, I want to know the scores.
Again, you're looking for logic in a place where you're barking up the wrong tree, baby.
Yeah, truly, it's a shame. It's a shame.
But we do find out, unfortunately, with the points of 60, Justin is the one who has to go home today. And I cried so hard. I don't know about anybody else. Maybe it's because I have a mustache and I got to see mustache representation. But I cried. I cried.
Was Halal Bay not enough for you?
It's a different kind of mustache.
Oh, a mustache superiority complex. Okay.
Toxic mustache ulinity.
I was really sad to see Justice didn't go too. I would have probably been really upset no matter who went home, to be honest.
Yes.
Because I've been kind of upset every episode whenever someone goes, because I really like the cast. It's just very upsetting to see, especially the king. Like, we have one king on at the moment, and now he's gone. I was very sad to not see the king. The king gets cut right before the finale, both seasons. So whichever king gets on next season, that semifinals, gotta fucking bring it, or else they will axe you.
Hercules did go home right before the finale. So
yeah.
Holy shit.
There's the musical episode.
Hercules definitely should have been in the finale.
Val deserves to be there too, but yes.
I mean, that could have been two glass holes.
Yeah, there needs to be more glass holes in the finale representation. I think that's what season 3 needs, is more glass holes.
Only glass holes.
Yeah,
only glass holes.
Yeah, exactly. Crystal literally doesn't send anyone home next season. That's the... I love it. And Seyonce comes back and is part of the House of Glass. There we go.
I'll only come back if they pay me.
Work. Well, I'm glad we got to, obviously get to know you more in this moment and hear more about how you feel about everything. Because like I said before, that's been my favorite part of this season, has been not the actual season, but talking to you all on this. And it just makes a lot more sense, and it all kind of comes together more the more I hear more about you. So
I told so many jokes and quips and things that made everyone laugh that I'm surprised that they kept virtually none of those things.
They said you agree.
One really, I think, and that was
you
what's
get
with
one and it won't even be your favorite.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, while I was being eliminated, the first thing that I said, it was does this mean that I can sleep in my own bed? Cut. And then the whole time that I was in my flapper 20s kind of thing, I went into my transatlantic accent almost the whole time, and I kept on saying Giles, and that was the thing that I kept on doing. And then when I left, I was like, Giles! And everyone cracked up, and they didn't even like let me have an exit. Like they were like, yeah, let's get rid of Seyonce so that Maya can have her time on stage.
Yeah, they were like, hey, here you are. Now you get to take your makeup off in a mirror because I'm sure that's not horrible.
I didn't want to. I wasn't going to. I first started smearing my makeup around on my face, and they're like, please use the wipes. And I was like, okay. That's like super traumatic to do, is like, here, take your makeup in front of the camera. It's like, no,
right after
thank
we eliminated you. Yeah.
I do not like this part of the show. I didn't like it in season 1. I do not like that part in season 2. Yes, you can have like a full moment for the artist, but I don't think this is the moment.
Yeah.
No. I honestly don't think they should keep it go forward with another season. It's not the giving the moment that they think it's giving.
Yeah,
and
it's giving us a few straight people thought this would be a cute moment.
They thought it would be documentary style, and they're like, let's do it.
Yeah. It's very that.
Do you have any shows that you'd like to plug? Anything you'd like to plug for yourself?
You can follow me on Instagram, or you can find me on a darkened closet under your bed, behind that pile of laundry that you forgot about, or simply on Instagram as Seyonce Knows. Unfortunately, I have no shows to plug because people think that I exist only during Halloween. And right now, despite being like, hey, hire me for gigs, it's just tumbleweeds everywhere, baby.
I can guarantee you'll actually see more benefit from the show in about 6 months to a year. It's probably unfortunate right now, and especially as someone who does a little bit more of the horror side of drag, it's a little unfortunate, but I want to see you. I want to see you everywhere.
Well, that's the thing too, is that there's like a very big misconception that I only do horror, but I may be spooky, but I am a comedy person. I do comedy. I do so much more than just horror, and I get pegged as just like put a tiny little box where this is the only thing that I do. So that's what everyone just assumes. And here we are, December, no gigs.
So go hire this bitch. Her schedule is free. Y'all have gigs. I know y'all have gigs. Get her. You know she's gonna bring something amazing. Come on, let's do it. Hire Seyonce. Please.
Yes, please. I'm being evicted currently, so I need to get so that I can live, you know?
Yes, very that.
So, do you have a PayPal or anything that you'd also like to plug so that way people can send you some tip taps?
Oh my god. If they want to tip tap me some tip taps, it's paypal.me/HECKS. Like hex, but spelled with more letters because that's how it is.
My name is Andrew Chiles, also known as Drewbie_TV on pretty much every social media platform that you can think of. Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube even now, because apparently we have handles on there. And yeah.
Yeah. And I'm Mira May. You can find me at TheMiraMay on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Hive. I don't use it, but I have it. Yeah, you can follow me there if you want to follow me there. I post some very pretty pictures, so yes. And I'm also available for gigs.
Yeah. Book her.
I am. Book me. Or I'll just go produce my own stuff. But right now, book me. Thank you.
Please and thank you.
Thanks. Not me begging for gigs on the Twitch stream.
And this has been Call Me After, the Call Me Mother review show. And this was season 2, episode 7. What was it called? Sell It. Hey, thanks very much, Seyonce, for joining us. Thank you, everybody who's been in the chat. Thank you for watching this on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, have a big slay day. Bye.
Bye.
Oh my gosh, thank you for having me.